Hey YouTube, what's going on? This is good old Super Fanboy Guy again, and in this video I'm going to be giving you another Versus System deck profile, and we are going to be talking about my King deck. Yes, my Kang Council deck actually, and this is a deck that has been around for a while. It came out with the Marvel Avengers set. That's when King really started to become kind of like a cool, nifty type of deck. So the way that I kind of build my King deck, a lot of people say that King is a team affiliation that you really need to have them with two team affiliations. But this deck is going to be focused on just using them as a single team affiliation. And this is kind of like a more aggressive beatdown type of deck. So I am just going to, do the same procedure as I do with all my other deck profile videos. One other thing I forgot to mention about the Kang Council cards, they started having this thing with King that they made them not unique. So as you can see right there, so all the King cards, as we go through them, they'll always say that he's not unique. And I think it's because in the comic books he was kind of like a time traveling guy. So there's, he comes from like other time zones, so that's why they made him not unique, which is pretty cool. But anyway, so yeah, so continuing with the one cost characters, we run 3 copies of King Ramatut, and he is a range 1/1. Concealed, return Kang to his owner's hand. Target Kang Council attacker or defender you control gets +1 attack and +1 defense this attack. So just want to make note that this is not powering up. It's by the, he gets +1/+1 by his effect, so it's not considered a power up. So I wanted to mention that. So that is our 1 cost characters. And so we're going to move on to our 2 cost characters, and we're going to run 1 copy of Kang, one of many. He is Dr. Doom in Kang Council. He has range. He's a 2/2. Activate, reveal a card from your hand named Dr. Doom or named Kang. Exhaust target character will cost 2 or less. So yeah, we just run 1 copy of that guy. And then continuing with the 2 cost characters, we run 3 copies of Kang Kong. He's range 2/2, and when Kang comes to play, you may reveal a Kang Council card in your hand or resource row and remove Kang from the game. If you do, search your deck for a card, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. So he's definitely, you can get any card by removing him and revealing a Kang Council. So we'll kind of go over some of the other cards that you can get with him. But yeah, that's Kang Kong. And now we're going to move to our 3 cost characters, starting with 3 copies of King Ransom. He's got range, he's a 5/5. His ability is at the start of the combat. At the start of the combat phase, if you control 3 or fewer resources, move King to your hidden area, exhaust him, and replace target resource at the start of the recovery phase. Move King to your visible area. So continuing on with our 3 cost characters, we run 4 copies of King Cobra. He has range, he's a 4/3, and characters your opponents control cannot become powered up. So yeah, they can't. So powered up is when you discard a character of the same identity or name, they get +1 attack and +1 defense for the turn. So with him, he says, no, can't do that, sorry. So yeah, that is King Cobra. And then we're going to move on to our 4 cost characters. And we play 1 copy of this King, which is King Scarlet Centurion. He has range, he's a 7/7. And activate, move King from your hidden area to your visible area, negate target effect from a non-ongoing plot twist. So he's pretty much, if your opponent plays like a Savage Beatdown, for example, you can move him from your hidden area to the visible, and you can negate that Savage Beatdown effect. So, but we only run 1 copy of him because he's definitely more for a control kind of King build, and he's not really this. We're trying to go for more beatdown, but I still think 1 copy is necessary in the deck, so that's why I decided to play only 1 of him. And then moving on with the 4 cost characters, we have 3 copies of King, Master of Time, and he has range, he's a 6/6. At the start of the combat phase, discard a card. At the start of the recover phase, draw 2 cards. So yeah, ditching a card is kind of a bummer, but he also has like, if he's able to not be stunned, you just get to draw 2 cards, which is really good. We have 4 copies of King, Earth Mesoic 24. He's got range, he's a 10/10. And if Kang would come into play during your recruit step, instead remove him from the game. At the start of the recover phase this turn, you may put Kang into your front row. So yeah, he's like a 10-10 for 4, which is pretty huge. He could take out a lot of 5 drops, you know, attack directly into 5 drops. The only downside is you gotta wait 1 turn when you play him, but he's still like a really high attack and high defense card, so yeah, we definitely gotta run 4 copies of that one. We also are moving to our 5 cost characters now. Yeah, 5 cost. And we have 4 copies of Kang, Ultimate Kang. He has range, he's a 9/9, and his ability is activate, stun another character named Kang you control, remove all attackers from this attack, use his power only if Kang is defending. So he really helps us, so if your opponent plans to do like a big team attack, all you have to do is stun like your 1-drop or your 2-drop Kang, and you know, you just remove all the attackers from the attack. And so we're moving on to our 6 cost characters now, and this is probably like one of my favorite Kang cards ever made. He is Kang, Lord Kang, and he's signed by the artist right there, by Mr. Tom Fleming, who's really awesome. And he is, and sorry the ink is kind of going over the text a little bit, but I'll still try to read it the best I can. So he has range, he's a 12/12. Whenever an attacker adjacent to Kang becomes powered up, that character cannot be stunned this attack. So really good. He's definitely more of an offensive card. So you really want to like have, for an example, let's say your 5-drop Kang is next to him and they attack. Well, since we have a bunch of Kang cards, you can just power up so this guy can't get stunned. So yeah, that's kind of a neat little combo with this. So yeah, he's really good for that. And moving on to the 7 cost characters, we play 2 copies of Kang, Lord of Limbo. He has range, he's a 15/15. At the start of the combat phase, the controller of target visible character moves it to his hidden area. So this can be your opponent's character or your own character, depending on what type of strategy you're going for. But yeah, he just moves characters from the visible to the hidden area, so if they have like 1 character in their visible area, you can just move them to the hidden so all your guys can attack directly. And then for this, we have 1 A-cost character in our deck, but we don't really use him to play. We use him more for his effect, and that's Kang Immortus. He has range of 20/19. You remove Kang and 2 other cards in your hand from the game. Negate target non-ongoing plot twist effect. Use this power only if you control a character named Kang, and only if Kang is in your hand. He's kind of like similar to this Kang right here, that he has an ability to negate plot twist, but this can just be from your hand. Now, it does technically cost you 3 cards to, you know, negate a plot twist, because you have to exile or remove the 2 in your hand plus himself, so that is kind of costly. But you'll see in the deck that we have a way of getting a bunch of cards in our hand, and that actually leads us to our next card, which is our locations. And our locations are going to be 3 copies of Democles base, and this is a 3 cost location, a 3 threshold. It has Terraform. Activate, name a character, reveal the top 2 cards of your deck. If you name Kang, instead reveal the top 3. Put a revealed card with the same name into your hand, and the rest on the bottom of your deck. So if we play this on turn 3, and we're obviously going to name Kang because we play a Kang, this is a Kang themed deck. You know, you have the potential to essentially add a card to your hand every turn with this, so it's really cool card. It gives you hand advantage, so that's when we start getting the cards in our hand, you know, to like maybe pay for the 8-drop Kang or other kind of cards. So that's going to be, yeah, Democles base. Okay, so now we are going to move on to the plot twist cards. And starting off with our 1-cost plot twist, we run 4 copies of Acrobatic Dodge. Target defender you control gets -3 attack and +3 defense for this attack. And our last 1-cost plot twist is going to be Mega Blast. And Mega Blast is target support row character has range this turn. While attacking this turn, that character gets +4 attack. So again, we're trying to go for a more aggressive strategy here. So giving +4 attack is huge for just 1-cost plot twist. So this is definitely a staple in every kind of like aggressive deck. So I definitely recommend it if you're playing an aggressive deck. And moving on to the 2-cost plot twist, we run 1 copy of Finishing Move. As an additional cost to play Finishing Move, exhaust a character you control. KO target stun character. Now we only run one copy of this because there may be a character that we stun that we want to KO, but it's not really meant, in my opinion, it's not really meant for aggressive type decks. So that's why I think one copy of this is necessary. And then another 2-cost plot twist card that we run is we run 4 copies of No Man Escapes the Manhunters. And this card is target character gets -3 defense while defending this turn. If that character is hidden, its controller moves it to the visible area. So really good for getting characters in the hidden area into the visible area if you want to try to take out something really powerful from your opponent that's in the hidden areas. All of our kings have range, so we have to play 4 copies of Cover Fire. And what Cover Fire does is target defender gets +2 defense for this attack for each other non-stun character with range you control. And next we're going to talk about our 3-cost plot twist cards, and we run 4 copies of Cyclobe. And what this does, as an additional cost to play Cyclobe, exhaust a Kang Council character you control. Search your deck for a character named King, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. So it's a great search card that we use for the deck to try to search for all of our King characters. So, and it's, this is like a King specific card. So yeah, just you got to run 4 copies of it to kind of, get your Kings on time. And then the last card that we run in the deck is our 4-cost threshold, and they are one of the signature cards of the game in my opinion. And anybody who's played the game has definitely heard of this one, but it is Savage Beatdown. Yep, 4 copies of Savage Beatdown. And target attacker gets +5 attack for this attack. You want to try to beat down your opponent as fast as possible, so Savage Beatdown definitely helps with that. Some other substitutions you can play instead of Savage Beatdown is you can play Big Leagues, which I believe is a 3-cost plot twist, and it gives them +4 attack. But Savage Beatdown is just such an awesome card. It's got Hulk on it, so why wouldn't you play it? I just want to also talk about really quick that, and I didn't actually mention this when I was going through my deck profile, but yeah, my King deck is all foil. You probably figured that out now. So this is actually probably one of the cheaper decks to foil out in my opinion. I think the only expensive card is probably the location. And, I obviously got some of the EAs here, like the No Man Escapes the Manhunters, and I think Mega Blast was also an EA, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, no, it wasn't just a regular. Okay. So, what's pretty cool with King is, this King, for example, you can return him to your hand to give him give somebody +1/+1, but this is also like another King you can have in your hand to, like, for an example, if you have this King out on the field and you have this one in the concealed, you can return this, give it +1/+1, plus you can discard for this effect, and, give this another additional +1/+1, so that could be a 12/12. And then also what's also really cool is that his ability to return is not necessarily, you don't have to exhaust him, it just says return into your hand. So the reason why that is kind of cool to do is because we have Cyclobe that we can use in combination with him, so we can exhaust him to get another King character in our hand. So let's say, for an example, we decide to get King Cobra into our hand, so we can get him and then use his effect and maybe discard him to power up. So that's kind of one cool thing you can do with the deck. Another cool thing with the deck is with the location. All you have to do is you just have to activate it every turn. So if you get this by turn 3, you can potentially, draw, on an average, when I play this, I typically draw an average of 3 or 4 cards a game with this location. So yeah, it's just you just get so much value from this card. It's such an amazing card. It's definitely one of my favorite cards in the deck, next to the 6-drop King. And I think that's pretty much it for the deck. I know I kind of got it out of order a little bit here, but yeah, that's my Kang Council deck. So let me know what you guys think about it in the comments section of this video. And again, if you guys want to see more of these paper deck profiles instead of me using the graphics and stuff, I'm just trying something different for this video, to see if people like it or not. Because I've seen a lot of other YouTube videos for like Magic the Gathering or
Dragon Ball Super or Yu-Gi-Oh! Where they do like paper deck profiles like this. I know I have a couple of other ones like them on my channel that I've done like years ago. But anyway, so yeah, that's going to do it for this deck profile video. Again, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It really means a lot to me when you guys do that. It supports me as a content creator, and I just like to hear from my subscribers what they think about my content. So any feedback is definitely welcomed. So that is about it, and thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.